city doesn't track with either of those. And so that term means different things to different people depending on the context of the discussion. Many of the elements. Liar. Many of the elements.
Liar.
Liar. We're here to listen.
Liar.
You're a liar.
We're here to listen.
Liar.
There'll be time for questions.
You are guilty and got blood on your hands for this murder, sir.
Many of the aspects that are ascribed to sanctuary cities
We know what sanctuary
are things that are disallowed by Georgia law. And we contribute a document every year to the Georgia Department of Audits indicating that we do not correspond to these definitions under state law.
Yes, you do.
And no policies have been adopted by the mayor and commission that have created sanctuary city status in Athens.
You need to resign.
Georgia is exploding after the horrific murder of a bright young nursing student, allegedly at the hands of an illegal migrant. We're going to see the fallout from that senseless crime and how it's impacting the national debate on border security. And then...
Thank you. I would like to invite the press to exit before we start our discussion.
The legacy media is freaking out over a rapidly crumbling presidency. We're going to see the nightmare scenario that's unfolding for Biden and why more and more pundits believe that Joe is one and done. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and let's dive right in. The state of Georgia continues to reel after the brutal murder of an Augusta University student allegedly at the hands of an illegal alien. On February 22nd, 22-year-old Lakan Riley, a nursing student, went out for a run near the University of Georgia campus. She would never return. Hours later, her lifeless body was found, her skull crushed. A Venezuelan national by the name of Jose Ibarra was arrested and charged with Lakan's senseless murder. But as it turns out, Ibarra is not only here illegally, he was also arrested in Queens back in August and charged with endangering a child, but was actually cut loose and let go by authorities. To add insult to injury, Ibarra was also wanted on an arrest warrant in Georgia for failing to appear in court over a shoplifting charge. Needless to say, outrage has engulfed the citizens of Georgia. And as you saw at the beginning of this video, they're turning their ire, particularly in the direction of the feckless, vile Democrat mayor of Athens, Kelly Girtz, and his sanctuary city-style policies. Here's Girtz actually trying to blame this, if you can believe it. He's trying to blame this on President Trump.
While 2019 was not that long ago, you might remember the dynamic we were living in the late teens in this country, where you had the President of the United States speaking in the most vile terms about people who were foreign born. And you had that notion metastasizing in places like Charlottesville.
This is an invasion!
That's right, gang. You heard it yourself. The reason why that beautiful young girl is dead today is because of Charlottesville. Repulsive doesn't even begin to describe that freak. Now, of course, this feckless, cowardly, woke excuse of a mayor has to blame someone or something else other than his own sanctuary city-inspired policies. In fact, he's doing everything he possibly can right now to gaslight his constituents that he's never, ever, ever implemented anything even remotely resembling sanctuary city policies. But unfortunately, the internet is a very stubborn thing. Here's that same mayor back in 2019.
And whereas white nationalists and xenophobes have been emboldened by some politicians and members of the media, and we recognize that our entire community, not just people of color and immigrants, is harmed by the existence of white supremacy in our community going unchallenged. And whereas our immigrant and undocumented neighbors, especially those of Latinx heritage, face daily fears and threats from individuals and institutions such as ICE, and whereas for the Athens community to be whole, it is necessary that families and loved ones remain together and that all people, including those without documentation, feel welcome and comfortable.
Now, if there's any good news to come out of this horror, it's that the Republican-dominated Georgia legislature is now actively seeking to implement far stricter illegal immigration measures throughout the state. And I've got to say, I hope they're not the only ones to do this. I'd like to know your opinions on this. Let us know in the comment section below. What do you think of this? I want to see every single red state out there, all 27 red states, implement a zero-tolerance policy on any and all illegal migrants. In other words, I want to see them work together with Texas officials to implement a full system of mass deportation. If you're caught, you're booted out of the country, and force Biden to go through the optics disaster of trying to stop that mass deportation. Zero tolerance, period. Zero tolerance. And red states need to implement a deportation infrastructure that kicks these people out of the country once and for all. And then you could pass something like Kate's Law to deal with anyone who returns to the country after having been deported. Kate's Law refers to Kate Steinle, who was murdered by an illegal migrant who had been deported several times. If you're caught coming back after you've been deported, mandatory 10-year prison sentence. And then force the Biden administration to go through the humiliation of trying to stop you to do that. We're already seeing how colossally attempts at defending Democrats are failing, just like what we saw with that pathetic Athens mayor. The legacy media is doing everything they possibly can to try to deflect the outrage over Lakan's murder away from the open borders policies of the Democrats. And that obviously means, gang, that we need to talk about how to find relevant and trustworthy news, especially in our current climate where honest reporting is just so rare. And that's why I'm so excited about today's sponsor, Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that takes the chore of digging through multiple sources on a topic and does it for you so you can compare coverage. It's so neat because they provide additional context on each publication, like where on the political spectrum they skew, how credible the reporting is, and even who funds the source. I mean, check it out. Take, for example, this article on a non-citizen being appointed to San Francisco's election commission, right? You heard about that. When I use Ground News, I could see that exactly 21 articles have covered this story. But interestingly, you'll note the left-wing media has completely ignored it. 100% of the sources are right-leaning. So you can actually see for yourself how if an event doesn't fit their narrative, the left-wing media completely ignores it. That's one of Ground News' best features. They reveal the blind spots so you could share that with your friends who have yet to get red-pilled, right? I love this resource, gang, and you will too. There's never been a more important time to be aware of the extreme bias in our media outlets. Click on that link below right now or go to ground.news/Dr. Steve to check it out. Head on over there right now and subscribe through my link for as little as $5 a month to get 30% off unlimited access to the Vantage subscription. Now, when you subscribe, you not only support me, you're also supporting an independent platform trying to make the news more transparent. Click on that link below right now. Now, one of the reasons why Georgia's legislators are under so much scrutiny right now is because this horrific murder is actually part of a wider violent crime spree that's engulfed the nation as a whole. In other words, what's happening in Georgia is happening across the country, and voters are livid over this. My good friend Michael Seifert of Public Square, he tweeted out the observation that over the last week alone, illegal migrants have been arrested for murdering a college student in Georgia, murdering a 2-year-old boy in Maryland, raping a minor in Virginia, raping a minor at Knife Point, Louisiana, and shooting 3 police officers in D.C. Again, just in the last week alone. It's no wonder that illegal immigration is now the single most important issue of concern for voters going into November. It's not the economy anymore, and that's not because the economy's been improving. It obviously hasn't. It's because we are witnessing a massive violent crime wave perpetrated largely by illegal migrants all across the country, and people are literally getting killed as a result. And it's not going to surprise you who voters blame for these insane criminal conditions. Poll after poll after poll shows that voters overwhelmingly, we're talking super majorities, blame Joe Biden for this mess we're in. And how could they not? Remember, before Texas forces rose up and kicked federal officials out of Eagle Pass, remember the Democrats had actually thought they put this issue behind them. They thought they had bamboozled voters by convincing them that it was the Republicans who were playing politics with the border. Remember that disaster with Mitch McConnell when he tried to force on us where the border remained open to thousands of illegal crossings per day while the Biden White House was basically given blanket power to unilaterally bestow amnesty on illegal migrants? You remember that? Democrats actually believed they scored a political victory with that when the Republicans shut that bill down. I assure you no Democrat thinks that right now. And all they have to do is look at the latest round of polling on Biden. I mean, gang, look at the latest Bloomberg poll that just dropped today. Now, remember, we had the Emerson poll that dropped a couple of days back that had Trump beating Biden every single swing state. Look at this one. This is the second poll in a row this week showing Trump crushing Biden in every single battleground state. And we're talking by huge margins. Trump is up by 10 in North Carolina. He's up by 9 in Pennsylvania. 9 in Arizona, 7 in Nevada and Georgia, 6 in Wisconsin, and 1 in Michigan. Gang, obviously this is no time to get complacent. Democrats are going to pull every trick they've got in their evil sorcery books. But gang, this is beyond extraordinary. We've never seen polling dominance quite like this. Remember, earlier this week, we had a poll come out from the solid blue state of Maine. It had Trump up by 6. This is a poll conducted by Pan Atlantic. They have a very good accuracy record. They projected that Biden would win Maine by around 9 points in 2020, which is exactly what happened. Gang, that same polling outlet now has Trump up by 6, which means that Trump may be the first Republican to carry Maine since 1988. He's already on track, according to the latest analysis from Decision Desk. Trump's already on track to win 312 electoral votes in November. That's the biggest electoral landslide by Republicans since George Herbert Walker Bush in 1988. And that's not even including Maine. If Maine is about to fall, what other blue state is next? And I can tell you this, gang, Georgia is gone. With this horrific murder, there is no way Biden is going to even remotely come close to winning Georgia. Georgia is gone. And it looks like Nevada's gone. It looks like Arizona's gone. It looks like Wisconsin's gone. Pennsylvania's gone. Gang, we're looking at the potential of an absolute blowout. So again, no complacency here, but it does look like the Democrats' disastrous policies are coming home to roost just in time for November. Hey, gang, I just wanted to give you a huge note of thanks to each and every one of you, the thousands of you that have recently clicked on the link below and joined our Insiders Club. As many of you know, we took a big hit from big tech. Our channel was completely and totally demonetized, but you, literally thousands of you, stepped in and you rescued me and this channel by bypassing big tech and joining our Insiders Club. You made it loud and clear to the Silicon Valley oligarchs that we're a movement, an army of like-minded patriots who refuse to be silenced by the international woke police. And so once again, I just want to take this moment to thank each and every one of you who have joined our Insiders Club for coming to our rescue. And for those of you who want to join in on the effort and take action, gang, just click on the link below and join our email list. That way we will never, ever, ever lose touch with each other, no matter what big tech does. So just click on that link below, join our email list, and become a part of an army of literally hundreds of thousands of patriots dedicated to taking our nation back, most importantly, together.